proud of the tradition of the Oakland Raiders. It's one of the big reasons that I really wanted to be here. But that doesn't help us now.
There's a lot of great players that have come before us. They've won Super Bowls. They've been world champions. They've done it all, but it's been a long time since they've done that. We're trying to create our own tradition this year.
The autumn wind is a pirate.
1, 2, 3!
Those are three big words, and three words I think that are critical in terms of winning football games.
There have been some games this year that if we didn't have that pride and poise and commitment, then, you know, it would have been very easy for people to say, oh, they're the old Raiders, you know.
We feel like we've laid a good foundation for the 2000 football season, but we got a lot of bricks to lay before we can say we've arrived and we're for real.
He growls as he storms the country.
I'm sure this is going to be their end-all. This is going to be the game that they're going to say, look, at least we beat the Raiders if we didn't do anything else.
Well, we know this. We played them early in September, and it took us 60 minutes to find a way to beat them.
And right now they're wounded. We got to go ahead and put them out their misery and not let them lay around and come back and bite us.
The autumn wind is a Raider.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. It must feel like the old days for the Raiders. At 6-1, they're tied for the best record in the AFC. This team in recent years has squandered its talent. They haven't made the playoffs since '93. But this year, John Gruden has brought it all together. For San Diego, though, it has been a disaster. The worst record in professional football, 0-7. The culprit has been the offense. They can't run the football. And Paul and Joe, the quarterback position, has been a revolving door. Like to use him as a blocker for Dunn. And we are underway in San Diego. Dunn from the 10 to the 33. Here's Tim Brown with a Raider offense.
At quarterback, Rich Gannon. Running back, Tyrone Wheatley. Fullback, John Ritchie. Joining me at wide receiver, James Jett. At tight end, Ricky Dudley. Left tackle, Matt Stinchcomb. Left guard, Steve Wisniewski. Center, Barrett Robbins. Right guard, Mo Collins. Right tackle, Lincoln Kennedy.
They start from the 33. Play action by Gannon under pressure. And throws it over the middle about 5 yards away from Tim Brown. With the Charger defense, here's Junior Seau.
Front four, we have Al Fontenot and Darren Mickles from the end spot. Defensive tackles, we have Jamal Williams and John Perella. Outside linebacker, Gerald Dixon. Middle linebacker, Orlando Ruff. I'll be playing on the opposite of both of them. In the secondary, at cornerback, Tony Darden and Deron Jenkins. And at safety, to make sure no one gets behind them, we have Ronnie Harrison and Michael Bean.
Thank you, Junior. 4 wide receivers set on 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. Gannon too high for Brown. He wanted a flag. He won't get one. John Gruden says when San Diego gets you in 3rd and long, and he paused, said they are tough.
Well,
right now it's 3rd and long.
Well, this is an offense that really doesn't go down the field deep. What they're conscious of is San Diego being able to go back to the sticks and keeping everybody underneath. Gruden likes to run a lot of different crossing patterns, and because of that, he needs 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 6s.
Junior Seau, he's the guy who is usually in those short zones if he's not blitzing. Blitz comes. Harrison from the safety. Gannon flush. Close to a 1st down.
Paul, I think he's short. Oops. Did I go out on a limb already?
Well, I'll tell you. Be sure they mark the ball.
Oh,
Well, I just don't see where they mark the ball.
well, the fact that he slid, remember now, if a quarterback
He makes
slides,
it by the nose of the ball.
if a quarterback
He makes
slides, it's where he gives himself up.
He makes it. The one thing about the Chargers, they didn't want to see this guy running with the football, Rich Gannon, because this is where he really breaks your back. And Junior Seau told us, look at this. Up the field, he knows where the 1st down marker is. He slides.
Boy, did he get a good mark.
Well, I said the nose of the ball, didn't I?
See, if you're supposed to be where the quarterback gives himself up is where the ball should be spotted. it's difficult because the quarterback is moving, and that time he got a good one.
It's where the ball is when he gives himself up.
Right.
If the ball's out front, he gets it where the ball is.
And he did.
Mike Riley in his second year after an 8-8 start. This has been a disaster. Gannon, one of 4 quarterbacks in the league, who has rushed for better than 200 yards. Back to throw under some pressure. He'll run again. Got a great block from Tim Brown and goes down at the 48.
The one thing that John Gruden, the head coach of Oakland, was emphatic about yesterday was first down, Joe. He said first down in distance.
And first down distance is a problem when you can't get your receivers open. Here's the coverage. Bob Brown on Jet, hanging with them real tight. They try and go down the field. Nothing there. Deron Jenkins just letting Tim Brown go across the formation into the linebackers where Dixon's waiting for him.
4 plays. They've thrown 2. Gannon has run twice. They give it to Wheatley, and the big guy across midfield into San Diego territory for the first time.
One of the big problems that Gannon has had, we saw in seeing in this first series of downs, Joe, is when he takes that 5- and 7-step drop, by the time he turns, there's already at least 2 defensive guys where it's in his vision. So he has to make a decision right now. Because Tim Brown was telling us yesterday, we are going to go deep.
And this is the San Diego defensive line that has not generated much pressure on quarterbacks all year long. Rison is in as an extra wide receiver. Randy Jordan is in as a running back. Gannon got away. Dumps it. Brown, did he catch it or was he out of bounds? He caught it. Tim Brown at the sideline making himself a safety valve for Rich Gannon.
That is why Paul talked about it in the open, why Rich Gannon should be considered an MVP to this point, because he has the ability to make those kind of plays.
Number 91, Neil Smith. Look, he's got Gannon, or at least he thinks he has him. But watch the poise of Gannon. When he gets the outside, what? There's out of bounds. Wait a minute, I got Tim Brown. I've got a first down. All I have to do is get it over the defenders. He does. Man, is that good.
Neil Smith will get more playing time tonight. Woodson is in as a flanker to the near side. The former Heisman winner, and that's where the ball's going. Woodson out of bounds. Covered by Tony Darden.
Charles Woodson has a small package on offense for the Raiders. Here he tries to go inside. Now, one of the things that a receiver has to know is leave the quarterback some room to the sideline so he can lead you away. That's one thing that Charles Woodson does not do when he tries to take it up the field.
Woodson said he really relishes the opportunity to get in there on offense. Said he wanted to run a comeback, not a go. That was a go. And nearly a touchdown.
It sets up the comeback, though.
Yes, it does. Kaufman in the flat. Stay out. Can't get it. Kaufman close to the first down. Dumas shoved him out of bounds. They'll mark it at the San Diego 32.
2 things happen on this play. You see the speed of Junior Seau as a linebacker getting out to Kaufman. But the most important thing is you see Kaufman with the power in his legs to break the tackle of Junior Seau. There's Junior Seau, 55, right in the middle of your screen. Watch the speed. He's there. But watch Kaufman. He just runs right through the tackle and picks up the first down.
One thing has jumped out to me so far in this game. The Chargers are going to have to do a much better job of tackling if they're going to contain this offense. Gannon's gotten away a couple times. Kaufman got away that time.
Kaufman, little stutter step, gets outside. Cut down at the 30. Deron Jenkins up from the corner. Raiders came in tied for 4th in the NFL, averaging 140.9 yards a game on the ground. Overall, number 8. And against the Seahawks, a season-high 206. Wheatley had a career-high 156 in that game. 10th play of this drive coming. Jordan is in. The running back. Gannon with excellent protection down the middle, incomplete. Flag is down. It was intended for Rison, and he was spun around.
Michael Dumas, number 20, is complaining. He is the strong safety. Whether it was calling him or not, I'm not sure.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Tony Garden called for the penalty.
You know, that's a pretty good break for them, because if it was pass interference, the ball would have been on the 15-yard line. Just the illegal contact.
Oh.
You see Darden get called. The ball was just too high.
All right, Junior Seau on Tim Brown. How about this matchup? Look at Tim Brown. He's pushing his face mask away, but this is a great job by Junior Seau.
Kaufman back in the ball game. Automatic first down. Blitz coming. Kaufman. Flag is down, so is Kaufman.
This is going to be a procedure penalty against the Raiders. The wide receiver did not get set when the tight end started in motion.
Deron Jenkins made the tackle. He is still down.
Watch his head, and right knee of Kaufman, right here. He's got to knee him right on the 2-3. He hits him there, and down he goes. He is up, and he is walking. But this is right to the head.
That's where you go. You sit on the bench. You got to figure that they're going to hold up 2 fingers because 1 is too easy and 3 is too hard. So you guess 2, and you usually wind up back in the game real quick.
2 is Thursday, isn't it?
Usually.
Fa Brown, number 24, has committed his cornerback spot. He's out there right now on jet.
I'd look for Tim Brown down here. I think Tim Brown is the guy that they really couldn't get the ball to.
Brown's in motion. They'll give it to Wheatley. He moves the pile for a couple of yards down to the 17.
I'll tell you a guy that, you know, when you get into this area and you really don't see them use him enough as far as I'm concerned, and that's, well, one of the reasons he drops the ball is Ricky Dudley. You know, here is a big target as a tight end, and they just don't get the ball to him enough.
But they only throw the ball 30% down here in the red zone. I mean, they've really become a Reading team, a running team. 98, they threw 38%, 97, 41%.
Gannon for the end zone. Brown couldn't hold it. Nice coverage by Bob Brown.
That's the guy that they're going to feature in this offense. And you really touched on it, Paul. Ricky Dudley hasn't stepped up to become the tight end that they thought he could be. So you get down here, you go to Mr. Reliable. Brown comes off, gives a little push outside. Bob Brown does a nice job of trying to hang on to him and really just strips the ball away from Tim Brown. He does a nice job of fighting him.
12th play of this drive. 3rd and 3. Moving up front, Seau was pointing, and then Neil Smith came across. May have been Matt Stinscombe, the second-year tackle who
Ball
moved.
start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Well, it can't be 72 because that's on the right side, but I thought it was Stinscombe.
Lincoln Kennedy went too. It just depends on which one you wanted to pick.
Choices.
May have been a group effort.
Well, you know, it really isn't. I mean, the noise is not really going to be that much of a factor here because it's almost like 50-50.
But Rich Gannon loves to use hard counts, and sometimes he gets his own team in trying to fool the Chargers.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and 8. Gannon had it knocked away. Rodney Harrison was set to sail to the other end.
You know, Joe, when you say that this team, they feature Tim Brown down in this area if they're going to throw, well, when you got a defensive back like Rodney Harrison, you don't want to go there because that's who he's looking at. Rodney Harrison has this play picked off and gone for a touchdown. Watch who comes into the picture. That's Rodney Harrison, not Tim Brown.
Now, these are the kind of plays, if you were 6-1, you'd make. When you're 0-7, you wind up with an incompleted pass instead of an interception that really could have gone the distance.
Janikowski comes on. He's missed more field goal kickers than any other place kicker in the NFL. Drills this one right down the middle. And the rookie from FSU puts the Raiders on top 3-0. Mike Riley hoping to catch a break, nearly had one there. 13-play drive results in a field goal. Kenny Bynum with a return for the Chargers. Got it out to the 25. Ronnie Jenkins, check it. He's 10th in the NFL in returns. Got it up to the 25. And we'll be back in a moment. It was a time-consuming drive by the Raiders that paid off in a field goal. 13 plays, 5 minutes and 23 seconds off the first quarter clock. The Chargers start from the I. Bazan, nothing. Here's Jim Harbaugh with the Charger offense.
Joining me in the backfield tonight is Jermaine Frazan and fullback Fred McCrary. The wideouts are Curtis Conway and Jeff Graham. My big play tight end, Freddie Joe. On the offensive line, Ben Coleman's the left tackle. Left guard, Riley Roundtree. The center, Roman Fortin. At right guard, Kevin Gogan. And the right tackle, Don Parker.
Harbaugh from the shotgun. Jones out in the flat. 40. First down, Chargers, and you heard Jim Harbaugh say his big play tight end.
What am I missing here? He's the leading receiver on the football team and nobody covers him?
Yeah, but the thing is, when you put 3 wide receivers out and the tight end, they drop into zone, he can find some place to go high.
Zone? There is nobody on the right-hand side of your screen. Look at Freddie Jones, number 88. You see anybody even close to this guy?
That's why they call it a zone. Nobody's on him real close. He's just in the zone.
Yeah.
Ronnie Jenkins, the rookie from Northern Arizona, is in at running back, and that's Jenkins. Tremendous speed. Can't get outside. Here's Greg Biekert with a Raider defense.
Up front for us tonight at defensive ends with Tony Bryant and Lance Johnstone. At defensive tackles, Grady Jackson and Darrell Russell. The linebacker spots, William Thomas, Elijah Alexander, and myself, Greg Biekert. In the secondary at corner, Charles Woodson, Eric Allen. At the safeties, Anthony Dorsett and Marquez Pope.
Fletcher is in on 2nd and 8. He's the man in motion now on the right wing. Harbaugh, quick set, throws, and threw behind Jeff Graham.
I'm sorry, the ball was thrown to Jeff Graham and he ducked. He just ducked.
You know, sometimes those inside receivers, they just can't see it. I mean, things are coming out so fast. So often quarterbacks don't have an opportunity to get it up over the defensive lineman or their offensive lineman, so it's coming out of a little hole somewhere. and when a guy turns around, Jeff just had no idea where it was.
I'm sorry.
Now 3rd and 8. Reggie Jones is in as the 3rd wideout. Harbaugh floats it deep. Woodson, the closest man, nearly had the pick.
Well, I came out at the beginning and said if they want to win this football game, they have to run it.
I don't think you can draw an assumption right away. I think they're eventually going to have to run the football. I think they wanted to spread the Raiders out, and sometimes to be able to establish a run, you have to open up the formations, throw early. But I think if the Raiders are going to have success, they're still going to have to gain some yards on the ground.
Well, the Chargers are the worst team in the NFL running the football. They only average 64 yards a game. This is a brilliant punter, Darren Bennett, who will kick to Darian Gordon. End over end, they let it go, and now Gordon comes up and takes it late and wisely skips out of bounds. 41-yard kick, no return. We have a 3-0 game. Raiders on top of the throwback-clad Chargers in San Diego. Raiders start from the 16. Again, play action. Over the middle. Bodies flying. Harrison may get a flag on this as he drilled Jeremy Brigham.
Well, he hit Brigham with a forearm to the head, and that is uncalled for. I know Rodney Harrison, you know, they talked about, Rich Gannon says, this is one of the guys I want to know where he is.
I'll tell you the other thing, Rodney Harrison's got to be real careful because he plays with an awful lot of emotion. And he's been really jacked up through the first quarter here. He's got to be careful he doesn't get himself thrown out of this game.
He will lay people out.
Yeah, but this isn't legal, though, man. I mean, this is...
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense. Number 37. Late hit on defenseless receiver after the ball had been gone. First down.
It's the forearm to the head that they're going to call. Brigham is the 87 coming. Look at his forearm, right to the face, and that's what they're calling, and he extends it. You're out in space. They're going to see it. Here it is. Look at this. That's uncalled for.
First down up at the 31. Wheatley, the deep man in the eye. Gannon to throw again. Caught by Risen. Double team taken out of bounds. Back to that penalty call as there's another marker down. Dick Hantak's call didn't have anything to do with that. He said it was a late hit on a defenseless receiver after the ball hit the ground. The ball was 8 yards in the air. It had been tipped, so his call didn't match what we saw in the replay. And the Chargers are
personal foul
again.
Defense, number 76. A blow to the head of the passer. 15 yards. First down.
That's Jamal Williams, the defensive tackle.
They call this one on him hitting Rich Gannon. As Gannon scrambles around, there he makes the throw. Here's a guy that's jumping in the air. What's he supposed to do with his hands? I really feel like the Rules Committee has to sit down and evaluate these type of penalties. I'm all for protecting the quarterback, but there's no way that deserves a 15-yard penalty.
I agree with you. Wheatley is in there. They fake to him again. Gannon with time. And throws this one incomplete. Tim Brown was the closest to it. Rich Gannon in the last 2 weeks has been on fire. He has missed more passes in this game than he has in the last 2 weeks. In fact, over the last 2 weeks against the Chiefs and the Seahawks, Gannon's hit 28 of 33 and 15 of 22. That's 78.2%. That's the best since Kenny Stabler in 1976. Over a two-game span, he had 78.3.
Just as a little footnote to that, that was the year that Stabler took him to a win in the Super Bowl.
2nd and 10. Kaufman, the single setback. Kaufman will get it on the toss. Kaufman inside the 30.
Boy, I'll tell you who gets a great block in there is David Dunn, number 88. He comes in motion, and Fontenot is number 95 on the outside of the defensive line, and he just makes an excellent block and opens a hole. You're going to see Dunn, David Dunn. Look at watch this block. Boom, and then turn inside, and watch where the ball carrier goes, just to the outside. That's an excellent block. Look at Lincoln Kennedy downfield. He's like 3 times the size of Kaufman.
Tony Darden, I know.
Raiders now facing a 3rd and a yard. Wheatley moves the pile one of the few times they tried to run the ball tonight. Let's go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly?
Yeah, Mike, not looking to justify the hit by Rodney Harrison, but he went over to the official. He was obviously very upset. He says, hey, we're just looking to play football. Of course, he's a very physical football player. He's going to have to find a way to be physical without drawing the penalties.
Absolutely right, Solomon. Those are the kind of things that really have hurt this defense on this drive. 2 personal foul penalties, a total of 30 yards. Another first down for the Raiders. Wheatley to the 22. Wheatley spent a career mostly in the doghouse and on the bench for the New York Giants after being the 17th pick in the 95 draft. Left there to go to Miami, had a cup of coffee there, and then signed with the Raiders. And things have turned around 360 degrees or 180 degrees since he came with the Raiders. He's already gained more yards here than he did in his entire career in New York. Gannon, pressure from behind. Screen, and Dudley drops it.
Oh, man.
That has been what has tortured Ricky Dudley during his career. He'll be brilliant one moment, then drop one the next.
All they have is one guy, Al Fontenot, in the middle of the field. Ricky Dudley drops the ball.
Rich Gannon does a terrific job of selling this. Look at how he flows out, doesn't look back. At the last minute, he turns and throws the ball. This is really sold by the quarterback. Now, he can't believe it. There's the pass. And Ricky Dudley starts to run with it before he catches it. That's one of the elements this offense is missing, is production out of the tight end position.
He's only caught 10 passes all year long. Gannon, great protection again. Sidearms and Wheatley dropped it.
Oh, this is just taking your eye off the ball. You're trying to run with the football before you get it.
Rich Gannon did not have that great 2-game completion percentage because guys drop balls like that.
Well, the one thing about Rich Gannon is every one of these guys, Joe, and you said it, they're aware of Rich Gannon because you've got to pay attention because you don't know where he's going to throw the football. Everybody has to be alert.
Ironically enough, the guy that told us that last night was Tyrone Wheatley.
That's right.
Sebastian Janikowski missed his first 6 from 40 and further. He's hit one tonight, tries another one, and Janikowski is 2 for 2. That's why they made him a first-round draft choice. San Diego Chargers secondary talking it over. They have stopped the Raiders short of the goal line on 2 consecutive drives, giving up a pair of field goals. Jenkins and Bynum deep to receive. Jenkins from the 2. Jenkins had a seam, closed it quickly up at the 25. There's a marker down.
This one's going to be holding against the Chargers. It occurred 6 inches further back. They can't back, moving the flag back 6 inches.
Holding during the return, number 96, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Leonardo Carson called for the penalty. Beginning of the broadcast, Paul McGuire said they need to run the ball. They'd love to run the ball. 3.1 yards to carry, worst in the league. 65 yards a game is the worst in the league. They've tried it the fewest times. 147. Is it the chicken or the egg? Do you give up on the rushing game too quick, or do you just realize you can't run? Kazan. Good run that time, up to the 18-yard line.
Well, Michael, they were worse than the league last year also. I mean, you know, but you've got to be able to run the ball. And here's an offensive line that truly believes that they can run the football, and they want to.
I think and you have to do, Mike Riley has got to put the onus on his offensive line to carry this offense for a while. They're bigger than the Raider defensive line on the edges, and that's where they have to run.
Kazan again. Duck. To their victory today. Fletcher is in as the 3rd down back.
See, now if you're going to throw here, the guy you look for is either Fletcher or Freddie Jones.
Harbaugh. Jones can't hold it. They had them both on the same side. Fletcher about 5 yards away from Jones, and Jones couldn't hold the ball.
Boy, Marquez Pope was there, and that ball was a little bit not on, well, just say this, it wasn't put on the target, and Pope just nailed him.
Pope starting in place of the injured Johnny Harris, who was the starting strong safety a week ago. Bennett comes on to kick. That's Darian Gordon. He waits back at his own 35. The Chargers have shown nothing on offense. Bennett with a rock. Gordon at the 24. Ran into his own man all the way back to the 35. Rich Gannon will lead the team back onto the field, and here's what John Gruden had to say on the qualities that Gannon brings to this team.
When he got on the field, he moved his team with his feet. He made good throws and good decisions, and he's always been a very well-prepared player, and he's got a vibe about him, I think, that's contagious that our football team needed.
A couple of the Raider players said one of the great things about John Gruden, he doesn't take crap from anybody, and neither does Rich Gannon. Rich's got an attitude when he's out there.
You think Gruden doesn't have a vibe?
At 37, still the youngest head coach in the NFL. Wheatley got a yard. Go go to Solomon Wilcott. Solly, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, you know, John Gruden's normal workday starts well before dawn, and his habits is rubbed off on his players, especially Rich Gannon. The story goes that Gruden was working in his office early one morning. He hears pebbles tapping on the window. He goes to the window. It's Rich Gannon looking to get in so he can study film at 6 a.m. Rich Gannon now has a key to the facility, and you know what? Sooner or later, it's going to be the kickers who are going to be burning the midnight oil as well.
Solomon, most of us could not be associated for a long time with John Gruden. You just can't get up that early. Looked like Dingle jumped early for the Chargers.
Outside, defense, number 90, unabated to the quarterback. 5 yards, still second down.
Here's a nice heads-up play by Barrett Robbins, the center, who Gruden really loves. He thinks he's the true Raider. He said he's mean, he's nasty. If he needs to get something done, he just goes to Barrett Robbins, and he'll get it started for him. He said this guy right here is his favorite Raider.
And a lot of people think Barrett Robbins should have been a couple of Pro Bowls already. He's in his 6th season at a TCU. 2nd and 4 after the penalty. Gannon play action again. Excellent protection. Sidearms it, tipped incomplete. It was intended for Jet, and Jenkins was right there.
Now they're going to call holding, defensive holding again, so this will be a 5-yard penalty. It won't be pass interference at the 45-yard line.
And interesting, here's the Cantax
Holding,
call.
defense, number 23, 5 yards from the previous spot. First down.
There are the penalty yards, 7 for 60 against only 1 for 5.
Here he comes up top. Jenkins is playing him outside. Now there they come around.
It's holding.
I mean, it is holding, but it looks like he might be interfering with him as well.
And we were told Jenkins had had a concussion and would not be back. Because nobody gave the message to Deron Jenkins. Kaufman trapped in the backfield, got away. Napoleon Kaufman stopped by Dumas on an ankle tackle, or he breaks it. As it was, he gained 14, and that was 14 yards opposed to -5.
Orlando Ruff, number 56, gets caught with his feet still. Napoleon left him there. Orlando Ruff is in the backfield, and he thinks he's going to make a play. Watch number 56. Right there, he turns back outside. Ruff goes down on the ground, and Junior Seau, 55. Look at this. They're suddenly getting a block on Junior Seau, but there's Ruff on the ground. And Seau trips over top of him.
Gannon short set. Look at all that time. Rison was open, and he missed him. Rison was being covered by Spa Brown, but he had him beaten by 2 steps.
You know, and you might say, oh, gee, Richie Gannon missed him, and Andre Rison maybe wasn't running. One of the problems you have when you don't call a specific go route, these were adjustments. See, Rison he's trying to run the post, and then he breaks it up. But Gannon never looked his way, so the rhythm of the route is distorted.
Look at this blocking. Look at this offensive line. This tells you why Gannon has all this time. These guys really never got off the line of scrimmage, the defense for the Chargers.
The Chargers only have 19 sacks on the season. Kaufman on the toss. Harrison put him down.
So we talked about Tyrone Wheatley getting a new start here with the Raiders. It's really been the benefit of both backs. Napoleon Kaufman is not the kind of a back who can carry the ball 35, 40 times a game. Heck, can't even carry it 20. But he's a perfect complement to Tyrone Wheatley being able to pound it up inside. Then if you want to attack the edges, you bring that in.
And Wheatley says he noticed his defense is preparing more for the run game since he has been here. Almost had a free ride last year. 3rd down, Randy Jordan is in the backfield. Gannon, plenty of time again. Incomplete. Intended for Rison. Bob Brown was there to knock it away.
Boy, Rison had him beaten to the outside, and Gannon threw the ball to the inside.
I get the sense that because the Raiders are throwing the ball so much, they want to just dampen the spirits of the Chargers. I think they think if they can get up 14 points, then the Chargers are going to quit. This defense hasn't any quit in it whatsoever.
Well, you remember what Junior Seau said yesterday. They want to come out and run it. I love it. Bring it on.
He's hoping they do.
Janikowski comes on again. This from 53 yards.
Wow.
The Polish cannon has hit 3. Officially a 54-yarder. The 2 before from 40. The offense has been Janikowski. The Raiders are up 9-0.
His previous long was 47 yards. This is why John Gruden went and got him. He needed to improve his kicking game. They lost 4 games last year by 3 points. He felt like he was sorely hampered without a field goal kicker. Bob Casulo, the special teams coach, he knew it was good as soon as it left his foot.
Not only did they upgrade their field goal kicking, but they upgraded their punting with Shane Leckler. It's been a big part of their success this year. If you just tuned in and you're a Chargers fan, you certainly haven't missed much. They have run 8 plays, gained a total of 27 yards. The Raiders have had it for 11:01 compared to only 3:45.
I had a chance to talk to Sebastian Janikowski on the field before the game. I looked at him, he started smiling. He says, I know you. I said, well, I know you too. I says, your body looks like mine when I quit.
His a little better.
Jenkins, a yard deep, bobbles it.
That ball's out.
It was on the goal line. It did not come across the outer edge of the white. They got a break. Chargers desperate to get anything started on offense. Play action by Harbaugh. And just throws it away. And did not get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, here's the two I'm talking about. Ronnie Jenkins, now look at this ball. It bounces. I thought it might have come out of the end zone. Look where it is, Michael. It's just right on the line, and he's holding it there. That whole ball has to come out of the end zone. It didn't.
And Ronnie Jenkins is very grateful. He's in there right now on 2nd and 10, the single setback. Harbaugh gives it to him. Can't get outside. Swarmed by the Raiders. Elijah Alexander, the 8-year veteran. That's the end of the first quarter. It's been all Raiders. 9-0 Oakland. Chargers tonight coming off a wrist injury and beginning with being the 2nd pick of the 98 draft. Leaf's career actually got off to a promising start, winning his first 2 games. But then an ugly attack on a local writer began a pattern of poor behavior. His immaturity combated by unproductive play. In 1999, the season wiped out by a shoulder injury. He won his job back in training camp this year, but that lasted for only 2 games.
Well, we met with the Chargers on Friday. Rodney Harrison really hit on the head. He said, if you're not here to help us win, I don't want you around. I mean, that is about as hard as you're going to get on a guy.
3rd and 16 for the Chargers. 3-man rush. Harbaugh dumps it to Freddie Jones. Got a nice block. Jones to the 25, but that will bring up 4th down. There is a marker down on the play. Roughing the passer is the call. That will be a 1st down San Diego. And it looks like they need a penalty to get a 1st down.
Look at that look. Look at that look.
The Raiders got 2 on the last drive.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 96. Unnecessary roughness. 15 yards, 1st down.
That's Darrell Russell, the defensive tackle, in a self-admitted slump.
I'll tell you, it'll drive a coach crazy. Look at Gruden. I mean, you've stopped the team now for 3 straight downs, and the guy throws the ball. Now look at this. Well,
I got to be honest with you guys. I just don't see where that is unnecessary roughness. I'm going to make a suggestion, and I hope whoever's listening takes it to heart. They ought to change the rules regarding the quarterback. They ought to treat him like they do kickers, running in or pushing the quarterback and roughing the quarterback. That was not rough.
But wouldn't you agree that wouldn't be any penalty under most circumstances?
No.
1st and 10, and movement up front. Coming across was Josh Tavis.
Encroachment. Defense contact prior to the snap. Number 57, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I want to go back a second to that roughing the quarterback call. I think it's an interpretation by the referee. Now, I'm seeing it different than Dick Hantak is doing, but here's the thing. In the context of this game, you have to understand now what the referee is calling. So everybody has to lay off the quarterback. I don't agree with the interpretation, but everybody out there on the field better understand it.
Fletcher gets it up to the 49. When you talk to the San Diego Chargers about Ryan Leaf, you can't find anybody who says a good word about the young man.
Well, I would say about Rodney Harrison, but the one thing that he said that was so vivid in my mind is that he said, I'm so tired of answering questions because the first thing anyone ever says to me, what about Ryan Leaf? I don't want to hear it anymore.
2nd and a yard. Ronnie Jenkins is the running back. Jenkins on the draw. Close to a first down, but they'll mark it shy of the 50. The one problem that this ball club has is that Ryan Leaf cost them so much in the draft, cost them so much out of their pocketbook, and he's going to be here at least another year. So they have a commitment to try to develop him while he's here, even if it's unproductive.
And you see the problem that's facing Dean and Alex Spanos, the owners. You know, he's got to hit rock bottom and realize that it's got to start from somewhere. I'm not sure whether he's hit that yet.
3rd and inches. McCrary, the fullback. I don't think so. One official has it marked at the 50. The official on the near side. On the far side, it's short of the 50.
Well, it's whoever got there first.
The official on the near side got there first. It's at the 50.
That's right.
Well, I'm over again.
Well, I'm going to tell you what.
You're 0 forever.
This is not a first down. If they mark it properly, it should be about 2 inches or an inch short.
And the Chargers are desperate for a first down.
And I don't think
short.
And I don't think you go for it.
Volleyball.
I don't think you go for it. I don't agree with this call. I believe that this game is not out of hand, and to give up field position at the 50 isn't the call that I would make.
Well, if you're out, well, what they're looking at is we haven't done anything. We're 0 for 7. We're down by 9. We're at the 50-yard line. Our line is bigger than your line, and we can't move them a half, 2 inches? They don't belong out there.
Well, they didn't move much in the last 2 plays. McCrary again. No way, and he fumbled the ball on top of it. The offensive line might be bigger. The defensive line is far more aggressive.
Michael, this is, and Joe, you got to agree, this is an attitude for an offensive lineman. You got to line up and say, I'm going to knock this guy off the ball. And they didn't do that. You talk about getting beat to the punch. The Raiders just jammed the whole offensive line and shoved them back.
Another big play for the Raiders. They'll have the ball when we come back.
I think 80 points scored in the first game and almost 70 in the second.
You didn't like them then, did you?
Gannon returned to Wheatley over the middle. Wheatley to the Charger 41. Let's take you back to the early days when Paul McGuire was a linebacker with the Chargers.
Ooh, check the haircut.
Oh, now watch this. I don't think this is Paul McGuire. Look at these moves. I think this is Lawrence Taylor. Look at this guy. I mean, he comes off the edge.
Did you see my swim move? Here it is. Here, watch my swim move. I get right in the rear end. Fine.
You look good in this one, though.
Oh, yeah.
You look good in this jersey.
Wheatley this time. But when was the last time somebody accused you of looking like Lawrence Taylor?
Elizabeth Taylor. Lawrence.
Okay, are you going to leave it on? Are you going to leave the video on the whole telecast? Yeah. Huh?
Well, the Chargers really look good in those uniforms. Right now, they're not playing very well, particularly on offense. Raiders face a 3rd and 3 from the Charger 41. Gannon again with all day. Now he's going to run and stop short of the first down. Nice tackle by Orlando Ruff, the middle linebacker. Looked like Gannon was going to pick up that first down.
Well, that really was a terrific play by Orlando Ruff, number 56. He got faked out by Kaufman earlier. On this play, he just kept Gannon zeroed in and stopped him.
Well, they won't try Janikowski from 57. They'll bring in Shane Leckler, the rookie out of Texas A&M.
That really is a great job by the defense because the offense has left them in the lurch at midfield.
Reggie Jones drops back to his 10-yard line. Leckler has had a great average. Flags are down. Who jumped? It was San Diego. It's a first down.
It was the wing guy, Eric Johnson, number 41, but San Diego was in the neutral zone.
Dick Hantak's been a busy man.
Get this one right, Dick.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense. 5 yards. First down.
I got to ask myself, if I'm a special teams coach, Mike Riley's coach, what is the defense doing playing all these games? They're going to punt the ball. The only mistake that you can make, that Bob's team can make here, there's Bruce Reed, special teams coach, the only mistake that he can make is trying to be cute. I mean, you have 4 guys in the middle. They're not going to rush the kicker. And that's, again, why you're 0-7.
And it was obvious they didn't even have a full rush on.
The obvious thing was the Raiders weren't going to punt the ball. They were going to run the clock down and take the penalty.
Instead, they have a first down. Weekly breaks the tackle, cuts it outside. It costs him a yard of Harrison, who is just a great. He comes up to make the tackle.
You know, you have to focus on the individual efforts, and Rodney Harrison is a Pro Bowl. I don't care what the Chargers record is. Junior Seau is a Pro Bowl. I don't care what the record says.
During the throw. Again, no pressure. Wide open down to 20. You can't let any quarterback have time like that, especially a guy who's as accurate as Richie Gannon. Another first down for the Raiders. Empty backfield. Wheatley is wide open in the flat. Then he turned it upfield, and Gannon threw it behind him. Boy, he was wide open coming out of the backfield.
Let's go back to that punt of the Raiders, Mike. When you look at it, first of all, again, these guys were not going to punt. They were going to let the clock run down. And here's the defense. For 3 years, this San Diego Charger defense, they've been playing outstanding, Joe. And tonight, you have an offense that hasn't moved the ball at all. And you've got your special teams. There's 3 entities in winning a football game. Offense, defense, and special teams. And they've got 2 of them, San Diego, that they aren't doing a thing.
2nd and 10. Greatly. Stopped as he got to the 17-yard line. Oh, and Harrison in there trying to rip the ball loose late. With Harrison and Seau, this defensive unit plays with such tremendous emotion.
Junior freelances a wee bit, manages to pick his spots. There he's just reading the movement of the backs. He's right on Tyrone Wheatley. Wherever Wheatley goes, Junior's going to wind up in that area. And normally right behind him will be Rodney Harrison making plays.
First-round draft choice out of USC 11 years ago. It's been to the Pro Bowl 9 times. Again with all day to throw. Over the middle, they've got a short of a first down. Dudley at the 11. the first catch tonight for Ricky Dudley. And here comes the field goal unit. The Chargers defense has stopped them again.
You know, it was really interesting yesterday talking to Gannon, and I always ask the quarterback, is there one guy that you're aware of where he is? He said, well, actually, there's two. There's 55 and 37. That's Junior Seau and Rodney Harrison. He said they're always aware where those two guys are.
The last time Janikowski kicked one, it was 54 yards. It tied a Raider record. Jager and Fleming had held it at 54. This one is from 29 for his fourth straight tonight. The rookie out of FSU, 4 field goals, is 12-0 Raiders. Ball control, 16.5 minutes to 6.5 minutes. The Chargers have only run 15 plays for a total of 35 yards, and their rushing average is 0.8.
But look at the total yards by the Raiders. In 16 minutes, they've only managed 124 total yards.
That's a great point, Joe, and they've had the ball the entire half.
That says a lot for that Charger defense.
Bynum bobbled it and cut down as he got out to the 18-yard line. Thank you. Happy Halloween to you, too. 12-0 Raiders.
Do you like my jersey?
12-0 Raiders on top. 6:36 to go, first half of play.
Chargers struggling on offense. They haven't had more than 2 consecutive plays gain yardage tonight.
Ouch. Harbaugh goes to the shotgun. They have a 5 wide receiver set. Harbaugh throws complete for maybe a yard to Reggie Jones. Stan Humphries was here as the quarterback from 92 to 97. Had a 61.8 winning percentage as a quarterback. Since then, it's been dreadful. 13 to 26 the record. The completion percentage only 52%. 72 interceptions, only 29 touchdown passes. And the quarterback rating has been dreadful. 55-6, the worst in any 3-year span. Just awful for the last 20 years. Harbaugh, short set again. Jones gets this one out to the 23, so they've completed 2 straight passes for a total of 4 yards. They're the backups. Moses Moreno, number 13. Ryan Leaf, the number 3 quarterback tonight, coming off of a wrist injury.
And Moses Moreno saw action when they played against Buffalo the last time they played. When San Diego actually had a shot at beating Buffalo, they wound up losing in overtime. Moreno was scheduled to play the second quarter, and he wound up with 2 fumbles. So he never got really back in the game, and Jim Harbaugh almost let him do a victory.
The great Dan Fouts was the last man who started off 16 games for this franchise. Raiders may have been offside, and they'll whistle the play dead.
If Dan Fouts is watching this game, it's going to be hard to hold his dinner down.
And Gruden is watching it. When he sees stuff like that, it's hard for him to keep it down.
Is he animated enough?
It would be a first down if it's against the Raiders. Those have been few and far between tonight for San Diego. The question will be, did someone move?
I hope they're just trying to figure out who they want to call it on.
There you go.
Well started. Offense. Move prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
See, I'm always leery when I see that kind of a discussion, and I hear the referee say that, and he doesn't identify someone.
And they didn't.
No. Always a little bit leery as to what really happened in that discussion between the officials.
Already 9 flags against the Chargers in the first half. We still have 5:16 to go. So it's 3rd and 9. Harbaugh says, look out for Baker, number 54.
Better look out for 24, too. Charles Woodson coming up outside.
Harbaugh with time, now under pressure down at the 8.
Reagan Upshaw, number 91.
And Tony Bryant, 94, was right there with him.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, you go 5 wide and you get sacked.
Yeah, when you put 5 wides out and everybody's covered, there really isn't any place to go with the ball. Look at the 3 receivers up top. He has literally nowhere to go with the football. There's Gordon. He is right in Jones's hip pocket.
And they blitz their best defensive back. Bennett to kick to Gordon. He waits at his own 46. Just got it out of there. Low kick. Takes a good bounce. And Gordon is buried. With the roll, it was a 43-yard punt to return, lost 2. The Raiders have it again. They've already scored 4 times, all field goals. The Chargers still hate the Raiders. This fan says, if you only win one, please make it this one. The Chargers have only 31 yards in offense. They've lost 69 yards in penalties. Raiders from their own 45. Gannon finally some pressure. Runs away from it. Dingle chases him out of bounds at midfield.
Rich Gannon, through the beginning of this season, the 7 games that the Raiders have played, every game you look at, every piece of film that you study of this offense, you see him do this 3 or 4 times. In the opening game against the Chargers, he rushed. The longest run in the game was a 17-yarder by him in the last drive to set up the winning touchdown.
Rich has hit only 33% tonight, over 78% over the last 2 games, but he is facing a tremendous defensive unit that has been betrayed time and time again by its offense, led by Junior Seau and Rodney Harris. Wheatley right in the chops and then bounces forward and gets a couple.
Boy, just great penetration by John Perella, number 97. And this was, I mean, you talk about heads up with Wheatley. He hits the hole. The hole's not there. And watch him. Here's Perella, number 97. Look at the penetration he gets. That's him making that move there. And then Wheatley steps back and still picks up 3 yards.
John Perella, who had a career high in sacks last year, is approaching it this season.
I got to believe in a situation like that, the one guy you've got to feel that they're going to go to is Tim Brown.
3rd and 3. The Raiders across midfield every time they've had it. Blitz coming. They pick it up. They complete the pass down to the 40-yard line to Rison.
With 1 number off.
Yep, just 1. You know, I had a chance to visit with John Gruden this morning a little bit. He talked about Andre Rison. He said he was really surprised at how lively his legs were. Here's a guy with over 700 catches. And between Brown and Rison, you've got over 1,500 catches. And here's a guy that's been a great addition to this offense.
Rison is number 12 all-time. Brown number 8 all-time on the NFL catch list. First down at the 40. Clock running, 2:32 to go in the half. Kaufman, nowhere to go. Nice play by Darrell Lewis, who came up from the secondary, helped string it out.
Sometimes a guy like Junior Seau doesn't make the tackle, but he allows his teammates to make a play. Watch Junior come in here. He's going to blow this whole thing up. He comes blitzing in. Wisniewski can't get him. But just the fact that he made Kaufman go a little bit deeper in the backfield allows a lot of the DBs to come up and make a play. Darrell Lewis getting the job done.
Lewis, a free agent pickup a year ago. And Gannon doesn't get the play off before the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go from San Diego. All Raiders, 12-0. Hope we get a shot of it if it happens. 2nd and 15. Blitz coming again. Great blocking. And that one is stuffed by Neil Smith.
That's a wily veteran. Boy, he can see this coming, and he's really upset with himself that he didn't intercept it. Neil Smith missed most of training camp, joined the team in September, and really just now is starting to play. You see him just back off the blocker, and Kaufman's upset, Smith is upset on every play. Somebody's either going to be happy or they're not.
Randy Jordan comes in on 3rd and 15. San Diego's defense trying to hold it again. Gannon, pressured, steps up and launches it. Tim Brown out of the end zone. Double coverage.
You know, I think Gannon did the smart thing. He looked when he got to the line of scrimmage, and he realized, Joe, he had to pick up 14 yards. And looking in the middle of that field, there was no way that he was going to get it running the ball. So he just unloaded the ball.
Leckler will come in to punt it away. 1:48 to go in the half. Reggie Jones waits at the 10. Chargers try to put some pressure on, and Leckler hangs it high, but far too deep. Chargers will take over at their own 20. So far, it has been an inept offensive performance. Underneath to Fletcher. He gets 4.
I think it's important for Mike Riley's offense at this stage to get some sense of a rhythm. Get a few first downs so that when you go in at halftime, you're really only down by 12 points. Yeah, Mike, just get one. That would be pretty good. You're only down by 12, and the Raiders haven't been able to put a knockout punch on it.
Harbaugh with good time, throws incomplete. Jones thought he was being held by Beekert.
Well, he got whacked around by Beekert.
And Harbaugh upset about it.
Beekert on the coverage. 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6. Harbaugh, they got a first down out to the 31. His tight end, Freddie Jones. Only time they have converted a 3rd down tonight.
Now you're in a 2-minute mode. You know, either get them to the line of scrimmage in a hurry or call timeout.
You got 3 timeouts. They're not even using any of them.
Here comes the blitz. Harbaugh throws to the sideline. Jones, Woodson, great job of holding him up and not letting him out of bounds, and they'll use their first time out.
Now, you managed to run one play in about 25 seconds. This is the first time your offense has shown any sense of life, and I think using the clock effectively would be important, and I don't think they're doing it.
Go on after last play, when Freddie Jones got the ball. Harbaugh looked to the bench. And they're the ones who are going to tell him to call timeout. He looked over there, and they didn't say anything.
I totally disagree with the bench managing a 2-minute drill, especially when you have a veteran like Jim Harbaugh.
It's got to be on the quarterback, doesn't it?
If it's Ryan Relief or Moses, then you have to let the bench help.
That's actually on the sideline for a while.
Never had a chance to sit down.
Harbaugh trying to run, hit from behind and dropped. That'll be a 4-yard sack, and Grady Jackson was the guy who got to him. They used another timeout. The clock stops at 27. Charles Woodson, the Pro Bowl corner.
Eric Allen on the other side. You don't get deep on these guys.
No, well, Chuck Bresnahan made it a point. He said, hey, you don't get beat deep. That's one of the things that's going to happen here.
3rd and 3 for Harbaugh. Good protection. Throws, and if it's a catch, and it is to Curtis Conway, it will be a first down. Clock running. And they use the timeout with 17 seconds to go. Got to throw something toward the sideline here. Harbaugh does. Jones taken out of bounds at the 48, but only 9 seconds to go. The 4th catch by the tight end, Freddie Jones, who came in with 30.
You meant something out of bounds like 20 yards down the field, didn't you?
That's more what I was thinking, yes.
I think the Raiders was thinking that same thing.
I think so, too.
It's not going to happen. These guys are. This is a solid defensive secondary.
Here, you can throw a ball 8-9 yards. Get out of bounds. It'll give you one play. That gets you within the arm strength of Jim Harbaugh, being able to unload one into the end zone. And who knows, the way things have happened in the last few weeks, maybe you wind up with a touchdown.
5 wide receivers. You may see the Hail Mary right here. Instead, they go to Jones at the sideline again. He doesn't get out of bounds. Jones being held in bounds, now forced out. Holy cow.
All you need to do is see one play.
It's over. They held him up.
And they made the right call. His forward momentum was stopped in bounds. So Jones makes a terrible mistake. He could have saved a few seconds, and they would have had a chance at least for a desperation pass. What else could go wrong for the Chargers in the first half? And the only people cheering are Raider fans. That's the end of the first half. 12-0 Raiders.
Your last 2 games, Rich Gannon had completed 78% of his passes. He was only 7 of 21 in the first half. What do you do to get him going here in the second half?
It's good defense we're playing tonight. We're not worried about statistics. We got a 12-0 lead. We dropped some balls that we should have caught, I thought. We just got to make a lot of plays and not turn the ball over, play smart.
All right, Coach, thanks for stopping by. Back up to you, Mike.
All right, Solomon, thanks very much. John Gruden at age 37.
Any questions when he talks? I mean, do you have any?
No, sir.
You understand exactly
Pretty much lays it on the line,
yes,
doesn't he?
Does. Yes, he does.
One of the bright young minds in football. That's Ronnie Jenkins, 10th in the league in kickoff returns. Has had 1 for a touchdown. He's back with Kenny Bynum as Janikowski kicks it off. Jenkins from the 6. Corey James on special teams and on the tackle of the 21.
As the Raider offense gets ready to take the field, one thing really stands out about the way, the Charger offense, the Raider corners, the way they play. Woodson on the right, Allen on the left. You see what they're doing? They're always looking in at the quarterback. What they're doing is they're studying his drop, but yet they have a feel of where the receiver is. See, Allen points up, lets the linebacker come underneath, and takes Conway deep. When you look at the way Woodson, he jams. Now watch this. The ball's in the air. Curtis Conway doesn't even see it, and Charles Woodson's trying to make a play on it. It's a technique they play, and they're very effective at it.
Kazan, the single setback as McCrary goes in motion. Kazan gets the carry, bounces off one tackler. Eric Allen missed him, and he got out to the 26-yard line. Kazan, 6'2", 255, out of Oklahoma. Wearing the same number Marion Butts did. First half stats, he hasn't run like Marion Butts. They only have 9 rushing yards. 61 passing, 70 total yards, and it's remarkable the Raiders only have 134 considering the number of times they've had it. Also 9 penalties for San Diego, the most for any team in the first half this season in the NFL. This one is for Freddie Jones, incomplete. He got covered by Elijah Alexander.
I thought the interesting thing about those stats where they had 9 yards rushing and 9 penalties.
Al Davis has really taken a step back. I mean, he's at practice on Wednesdays and Thursdays. He's there. But here's a guy who preached a vertical style of offense. Now what he has a horizontal offense. But the bottom line is what you'll always hear they'll talk about the Raiders. Just win, baby. And that's what this guy's doing for him, just winning.
Now, he would like to get some more vertical into the offense, but right now he's very happy with the results. 3rd and 8 for Jim Harbaugh. Tough finding anybody goes to Jones. The tight end has a first down out to the 36-yard line.
Well, Oakland shouldn't have a problem because Harbaugh is going to wait until Freddie Jones gets open. And Freddie Jones, as you know, coming into this game is the leading receiver on the Chargers. He's a tight end. Here comes Jones. Now, Pope forces him to the inside. Look at how long this pattern takes to develop. But Harbaugh had enough time to throw the ball.
Fletcher. Nice hole for Terrell Fletcher. He has it out to the 45. Only a yard shy of a first down, by far their most successful run from scrimmage.
It sounds, I'm sure, a little absurd to say this, but this is the kind of game that the Chargers really had hope for. A game that was close, where the Raiders didn't just run away with it real quick. Now they come out, do a little bit of quick huddling, which Jim Harbaugh is very effective in.
Fletcher again as they just try to pick up the first down, and he will lean forward to get it to the 27-yard line.
It's funny. The entire first half, the offense couldn't make a first down to give their defense a break. Now they go in at halftime. The guys had 12 minutes to sit around and relax. Now all of a sudden they put a drive together for them.
Well, it's the offensive line. They're starting to do something. They're starting to get off the ball.
Well, the defense will be happy with an offensive drive anytime.
Junior actually has time to put his baseball cap on.
Raiders jump. Let's see if they were drawn. Harbaugh, the veteran, very good with that hard count.
Encroachment. Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Josh Taves. Lance Johnstone, we understand, number 51, is an excellent outside pass rusher, has a pulled groin and will not play. So Taves is in there in his place.
You get a feel. Here, see the way Woodson's inside out.
Fletcher stays in there as the running back. Nice use of a blocker, cuts it back outside. And this is the best looking drive the Chargers have had all night long.
Well, what he did is he froze William Thomas, number 59. And this really is a nice run by Fletcher because he's got the linebacker to his inside. William Thomas, watch him freeze him. Here he is right there. He freezes him right here, and then he gets back outside, uses his blocker to pick up the first down. Here it is again. Boom. I freeze you here, you stay there, and I get back to the outside. That's nice.
This is the deepest penetration by the Chargers offensive unit tonight. They're at the Raider 41. Harbaugh pressured from behind to Jones, the tight end on a tight end screen. Jones fumbled the football, got it back at the 30. Oh, that would have been a heartbreaker for him if he'd lost that one.
Well, not only that, he was just getting up ahead of steam. You could see the gallop starting, and he was going to break into the open. There's the screen. Jones pointing out, slides in the middle. Kevin Gogan right out front on Beaker. The big wall. Now watch this. He's starting to get ahead of steam up, and Dorsett would have had to been the one to bring him down.
First down at the 30. Harbaugh got room to run, throws instead, and it's Graham inside the 20. It's another first down. The offense for San Diego has come alive.
It's amazing. You play an entire 30 minutes of football. Well, they only had the ball just a short period of time, 10 of it. But then all of a sudden you come out and a couple things click for you. You can run the ball a little bit. You can pass the ball a little bit. And here's Harbaugh. Watch this throw. On the run, just a perfect throw. Jeff Graham there picks up another first down.
Graham, excellent hands. He's a big target. Fletcher stayed in as the running back. He's done very well in this series. Cuts it outside again. Fletcher turns the corner. Picks up 9. Hit out of bounds by Darrell Russell. That'll be half the distance to the goal. The second personal foul tonight for Darrell Russell. One was a questionable roughing the quarterback call. That one was not questionable.
Absolutely not. There's no reason for it.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense. Number 96 will penalize half the distance to the goal line. First down.
When you play defense for the Oakland Raiders and you're an outside linebacker, William Thomas, number 59, you've got to stay outside. Watch, he gets stuck inside. And once he does that, Fletcher gets to the outside. Look at that. That's no reason for that. That's stupidity.
Russell in a slump, and he admits it. 66 yards on this drive. They only had 70 yards total in the first half.
Curtis Conway and Freddie Jones are the guys you got to be looking for down here if you're the Chargers.
Fletcher will get it, and he is just buried. Grady Jackson, all 325 pounds of him, just swallowed him up. Beekert was also there. Beekert's always there around the ball. One of the most unheralded players in the NFL.
No, there isn't much prettier play in defenses when you see a defensive lineman 300 and whatever just take this offensive lineman all the way back to the runner for a loss.
Just swallow him up. 2nd and goal. Dropped at the 1. Eric Allen came up defensively, but it looked like Conway should have had that ball.
What they do is they run the inside receivers up the field and let Curtis Conway drag down around the goal line. They just clear everything inside, and then he just hesitates a second, comes in. There's the throw. Should have been caught.
Got to catch that ball.
Have to make this kind of a catch.
Boy, nice throw by Harbaugh. Allen got there a step late. Now it's 3rd down and goal. They need a touchdown. And Harbaugh is going to call a timeout. You get the feeling if the Chargers have to settle for a field goal, this is a major defeat here. Back in a moment. Chargers down 12-0, but driving. What play do you like here, guys? 3rd and goal.
Holly? Well, I'm going to take whoever's on Eric Allen on the top. Now, if it's Conway or Graham, whichever guy is out there, that's where they're going.
Well, I like Freddie Jones. I like this one right here. I think Freddie Jones is the best matchup you're going to get because you've got Woodson and Allen outside against Conway and Graham. I don't like those. I like Freddie Jones against either one of his safeties inside.
Freddie Jones already has 7 catches, 69 yards on the night. Harbaugh, Jones, tight end screen, touchdown.
I'm clearing the way for him.
And Gogan threw the block on Marquez Pope that made sure they got a touchdown. The point after by John Carney. They have cut the lead to 5. Done. Near the 30. So the Chargers making a game of it with their first score of the night. Outby for the Chargers defense. Wheatley hit in the backfield. Perella was there, so strong as the defensive tackle, and got help from Seau, the last man up from the bottom of the pile.
I'll tell you, Perella and Seau just jammed up the middle of this offense. I mean, there was just no place to go. 55 and 97. Here they come. Look at Junior Seau just driving people in the back, and Jamal Williams, 76, he was also in the middle.
And this is always the spot where the magic of Rich Gannon can throw a damper on something a defense is doing.
2nd and 12. Gannon to throw. Excellent protection again. Still can't find anybody. Now pulls it down. Seau stumbling. Couldn't get to him. And Junior really upset that he didn't make the big play there. Is he fun to watch or what? Both of them, Gannon and Seau.
Well, that's sort of the magic of Rich Gannon. Basically, their offense is geared to his ability to be able to run the play-action passes. That time, San Diego's defense, again, doing a good job in coverage and really making Tim Brown a non-factor, allows Richie to run around and pick up, almost 10 yards.
Gannon on the ground tonight, 5 carries, 29 yards. He is the game's leading rusher in this defensive struggle. 3rd and 3. Tim Brown with only 1 catch tonight, a mere 6 yards. Big 3rd down here. Gannon all day to throw, and he throws for Brown, incomplete. Threw it behind him, I think, because Orlando Ruff was standing right in front of him.
Orlando Ruff did an excellent job. Tim Brown lets everybody clear out, and he goes up just to where the first down marker is, but Ruff doesn't allow him an opportunity to have a throwing lane. Tim Brown tries to stop. Watch this. Now, see Ruff just slide 56? Tim Brown thinks, or Rich Gannon thinks Tim Brown's going to keep on going, but by that time, the clock in your head stops.
Leckler will have to punt. Reggie Jones drops deep to receive. Holy, really boomed it. Jones back to the 3. And nearly got it back to the 20-yard line. A crushing punt of 60 yards, a return of 17. Junior and company down by only 5. 6:56 to go. Third quarter play from San Diego. Mike Patrick, Paul McGuire, Joe Theismann, Solomon Wilcox, our entire ESPN crew with you. And we have a good one after a 12-0 halftime score. The Chargers have cut it to 12-7. Fletcher stays in as the running back. Had a good series last time. Harbaugh with a short set will get about 4 yards out of that one.
They did a real nice job on that last drive of mixing it up, both running and throwing the football. And 2 guys played the ball on every play except one.
Fletcher on the draw. Russell helps on the tackle along with Grady Jackson as he crossed the 25. They need to reach the 30 for a first down. Mike Riley with the background in college, both offensively and defensively. Wanted to go to Alabama as a quarterback. He said, for about 5 minutes. And then he and 3 other quarterbacks became defensive backs under Bear Bryant. 3rd and 4 for Harbaugh. Blitz coming. Incomplete as they tried to get it to the sticks to Freddie Jones. Excellent coverage by William Thomas, who is one of the best pass coverage linebackers in the last 20 years in pro football.
William Thomas, number 59. I said he got caught inside on a couple of runs, but watch him when he's covering. He's covering the tight end, Freddie Jones. Look at this coverage here. He gets his hand in, knocks the ball away.
Look at big old Grady Jackson just coming in and unloading on Harbaugh. It's the price you pay when you short set.
Bennett's tied for the league lead, averaging 48 yards a kick. Puts another missile up there. Darian Gordon from the 20. Has the seam at the sideline. Got a couple of big blocks. Bennett was in on the tackle. Boy, he got a couple of wicked blocks to go down the sideline. A 33-yard return. Raiders with excellent field position. All right. Rich Gannon. Great protection again. Rising. Goes down at the 40.
Remember yesterday we're sitting there talking to Tim Brown, and Joe said, remember yesterday, he said, Rising might have lost a little bit of speed, and Tim Brown said, Joe, I haven't seen it. He said, I'll tell you what he has done, though. He's made a big play in every single game this year. Andre Rison, number 80.
The Raiders moved the ball consistently in the first half, but they got only 4 field goals out of it against the stiff defense. Dudley and Brigham, a 2 tight end set. Dudley in the backfield. Wheatley the single setback. They want to throw. Tim Brown, first down and more. Pushed out of bounds by Bob Brown.
This was a gimme. This was just a
marker down. It was an excellent pattern, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, but Bob Brown just gave him so much room.
It's against San Diego.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 92. We will penalize half the distance to the goal line. First down.
That is the 3rd personal foul called against the Chargers tonight. Darren Mickle called for that one.
As Tim Brown goes in motion, Bob Brown just gives him a good 12 yards. He just ran with him across the formation but never closed the gap.
Spot the ball at the 14. It's 1st and 10 after the penalty. The 10th penalty overall. It's cost them 84 yards. Gannon, screen to Wheatley. Perella, great play. John Perella wasn't fooled for a second.
No, John Perella just read the screen on Tyrone Wheatley and just got there and made the play. As soon as he caught the ball, that's a lot. John Perella, look at him smiling. Yeah, I love when defensive players make a great play and they smile. We're seeing a lot of that this year, but watch John Perella. fighting Wisniewski to the outside, and then he makes the play on Wheatley. You're not going anywhere. Guess who else was there? Seau.
Pretty tough to run screens when they don't get any pass rush. Chargers show blitz, drop out of it. Another screen. Wheatley. Ball comes loose. They're saying it's incomplete. And Junior Seau just annihilated Tyrone Wheatley.
I'm going to tell you what. You know, you said it before. I love to watch him play. I just love to watch him play.
Oh, he's the best. He's so much fun. He plays with incredible passion.
Oh, and he reads this. Look, he's breaking for Tyrone Wheatley long before Rich Gannon ever lets the ball go. And he just gives that arm pump. It's funny, talking to Greg Beaker, the middle linebacker, the Raiders, he said he loves to watch Junior play. Sure. And he says he wants to raise his standard and be able to play better than him. It's been a tough time doing that tonight.
3rd and 10. Comes the blitz. Gannon in trouble. They sacked him back at the 25. Darren Mickle. Mike Riley with pause to celebrate.
Well, there was total confusion by San Diego. They didn't know whether they had enough guys on the field. The guys were running around and pointing everywhere, and Gannon gets the playoff. But watch Mickle from the backside, number 92. He just outruns. There's coverage is downfield. There's no place to throw the football.
Ricky Dudley has no place to go as Rodney Harrison fills the inside as well as Dumas.
This will be a 42-yard field goal. Janikowski has already hit on 4 for 4. And his early season misses were behind him until that one. He had missed more than any other field goal kicker in the NFL. He had been perfect tonight, 4 for 4, but he missed that. The lead stays at 5. Fletcher remains in at running back. And movement by the left tackle, Ben Coleman. That will cost him 5. Mike Riley, as far as the quarterback situation.
Offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Finds himself between a rock and a hard place. He wants to win like any other coach. He wants to keep Jim Harbaugh in there, get a foundation for winning, but he also wants to get playing time for Moses Moreno, wants to get playing time and try to develop Ryan Leaf. Right now, he's thinking Jim Harbaugh that gives him the best chance to win.
And I don't think Leaf is quite ready. I think he needs another week, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see a Ryan Leaf start for him next week.
Good protection for Harbaugh. Beautiful catch by Reggie Jones. A leaping grab for 23.
It looked like Reggie Jones jumped too soon.
He did.
He caught the ball coming down. He's coming across the field. He jumps, and then he comes down and catches it.
We saw the room that Brown gave Brown before. Look at how Eric Allen, he's keeping an eye on the quarterback. Now he glances at the receiver, and then Reggie Jones hangs in the air to make the play.
Got good hang time, doesn't he?
He really did.
Jordan Ness. In the Raider territory again. Harbaugh. The tight end, Jones, got a good block out of bounds. They're at the Raider 37. Jaycox is the man in motion. He's the H-back. Fletcher, they try the end around, and Terrell Fletcher made a great decision in the arms of Darrell Russell not to try to hand that ball off, because that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Well, you're looking at Ben Coleman, number 62, is the tackle. He's the guy that's got to make the cutoff block. Now watch this. He can't get to Russell. Russell gets there. Boy, you're right. That is a great decision by Fletcher. Watch this. He knows he can't get the ball out there, but Russell grabs his arms. There was no way he was going to get out anyway.
Trevor Gaylor, the rookie wide receiver, number 82, comes in on 2nd and 17. Harbaugh underneath Graham, or check it, it's Terrell Fletcher. And he's down to the 40. Bring him 3rd and long.
Mike, you were talking about the San Diego Charger defensive line really not getting any penetration on Gannon. This offensive line is really holding out the defensive line.
Both defensive philosophies are very similar. Chuck Resnaham, Joe Pascal. We're going to play zone. We're going to keep everybody in front of us. What the Raiders like to do in this instance is they like to drop back and play, to the sticks. But they've got a lot of people around the line of scrimmage.
Here it comes.
Blitz. Harbaugh. Back at the 50, William Thomas, the 10-year veteran from Texas A&M, who was let go by the Eagles after a great career there.
How many times we talk about, Joe, you got too many guys to block. You don't have enough people.
Just not enough people on the line of scrimmage. William Thomas winds up with a free runner. See him slide up top, number 59. He comes inside Ben Coleman and Raleigh Roundtree. And Jim Harbaugh has nowhere to go but down.
Now Darren Bennett will try to push it inside the 20. Darian Gordon waits at the 10. Field position is going to be critical here. Gordon signals fair catch, makes it at the 11. There is a marker down, and now another one after a 38-yard punt. Dick Hantak will check it out. Double zeros on the clock, so the quarter will be over. And the Chargers indicating it's against the Raiders. John Gruden knew he'd be in a battle all night long.
On the receiving team, while the punt was in the air, number 24 will penalize half the distance to the goal line. First down, Oakland.
That's on Charles Woodson, called for the hold. Into the 3rd quarter. It's a battle in San Diego. The Raiders, for the first time really tonight, start in terrible field position. Wheatley. And he is crushed by Jamal Williams. Holy cow, what a shot.
You know what we're seeing tonight? I can't remember the number of times that the defensive linemen, at the point of attack, I mean, they're in the backfield. And we've seen this over and over and over again tonight. Watch number 76. Boom. He's in the hole. They don't even really attempt to block him. And it's over. Mo Collins missed.
Now keep in mind, the Raiders do not have a pass play of over 50 yards in the 33 games that Gruden has been their coach.
Gannon wants to throw. Underneath out to the 14. 3rd and a yard. Tim Brown with that last catch. They'll go with 2 tight ends. Gannon didn't have a chance. A great play by Darren Mickle. He protected the outside, did not bite.
Boy, I'll tell you, this smart play. You're only asked to do one thing as a defensive end, Joe, and that's to stay to the outside. Darren Mickle, his only job, he can't get Gannon inside anyway if they run inside. But watch what Mickle does. He sees Gannon, he stays with him, he makes the play. That is just truly a great play.
That's the other thing, you know who the quarterback is, too. You know, there's other guys that you don't pay that much attention to, but when you've got a Rich Gannon back there, one of the things you really concentrate on is the bootleg.
First 2 sacks of the year tonight for Darren Mickle, who was retired for a year. Leckler, short kick, taken out of bounds on the Raiders' side of the field after a 38-yard kick. When we come back, the Chargers were wondering. John Gruden knew it would be a 60-minute war, and how many times have we said it? You don't put somebody away when you have the chance, you may not get the next chance to put them away. Tim Brown hoping the Raider defense can hold here as the Chargers start from the Raider 44. Five wideouts for Harbaugh. That was batted down at the line of scrimmage. Both of you guys have been in games where your side of the football dominated the game, and yet you couldn't put somebody away. How many times can people come back and beat you?
Well, Tim Brown, when he said it, you can't let these guys just lay around and then come back. You've got to put them away, and they had a chance to put the San Diego Chargers away in the first half and didn't do it.
And I thought Junior Seau put it so well yesterday when he had a chance to talk to him. He said, if our defense can be on the field a lot in this game tonight, then we're going to have a chance to be in this thing, and that's exactly the way it's been scripted.
Harbaugh to Fletcher. First down at the 30. A gain of 14, and Fletcher has really made a difference since they took out Jermaine Fazand and McCrary and just left Fletcher back there by himself.
Well, Fletcher gives you that flexibility. You can either run him at the perimeters because really their defensive ends are not that big. John Stone's at 260. Tony Bryant's only 275. But now you see his value as a back coming out of the backfield catching the ball.
He's caught 3 for 22 and also run 8 times for 23 yards in this game. Changing the play. Harbaugh moves Fletcher. Blitz coming. Harbaugh. Oh, what a catch by Conway. Curtis Conway went up and speared it with his hand.
Boy, I tell you what, you talk about a tough guy. I'll tell you, Jim Harbaugh's a tough guy.
Yes, he is.
He got hammered.
Somebody at one time questioned his toughness. Look at the route. Conway, look at the extension to go up and get it. There he is hanging in the pocket, and then he just gets run over. The Raiders have changed their philosophy a little bit. They want to blitz him more and more.
The Chargers, the only winless team in the NFL. They're giving the Raiders, who are tied for the second best record in the conference, all they can handle. Fletcher tripped up, had a seam, couldn't get there. William Thomas made the tackle. Now it will be 3rd and a yard. When they ran in this situation earlier in the game, they got nothing.
You know, you see Kendall Jaycox come in, number 64. Now, he's been in as an H-back, a move back. He'll report. No one would expect him to get the football if you ran play action. No one would.
Least of all him. Fazan couldn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Beekert held him up. Looks like Taves got in there first, and so did Russell.
I really dislike this play, and I'll tell you why. You've got a half a yard. You go straight ahead, Joe. You don't go sideways.
Look at Russell. He's against Gogan. Gogan comes around. He just gets in Gogan's hip pocket. That's an excellent job by a defensive tackle. Feeling the guard take off and go, and he'll take you to the play. All you need to do is get close to him.
Carney, 3rd all-time in percentage. We'll try a 40-yarder to make it a 2-point game. Block! And it looked like Anthony Dorsett was the man who came through to block it. That's why that 3rd and 1 was such a huge play.
And the reason I said I don't like it is when you take a back and you get his shoulders away from being square to the line of scrimmage, he has no power. Now here's Dorsett coming in, number 33.
What gets penetration. Wow. Carney didn't stand a chance. Dorsett has blocked 2. He competed for a job in Tennessee as a starting safety. When he came here, he became the starter after the untimely and terrible death of Eric Turner.
The officials are gathered around, and you have to wonder, did Dorsett use one of the players?
San Diego. Number 64 had reported as an eligible player the play before. On the attempt for the field goal, he played at the guard position. He must have gone out of the play or one down, trying to be able to return to the position that his number was.
Well, there's a rule you really love.
Well, what happens is every time Jay Cox comes in, he has to report as an eligible receiver. He can't do it just once.
Yeah, but
And he can't switch positions.
And he can't go back to his
First down, Oakland.
Of course, the last thing the Raiders are going to do is take the penalty and give them another shot. They'll get the ball after the block with 10:05 to go in the ball game. Got a timeout on the field. Still a 5-point Raider lead. The Chargers are wearing their throwback blue jerseys and white helmets to honor the 40th anniversary of the franchise. All of them will be raffled off November 13th to benefit the Huntington's Disease Society. That's a degenerative brain disorder for which there is currently no cure. Rich Gannon on the scramble gets it up to the 34. And by the way, if you would like to buy raffle tickets, just call the San Diego Chargers offices. Wouldn't those look good on your wall as a souvenir?
I got mine. Joe's trying to steal mine.
I already have it. You can't find it, can you? It's gone.
And a lot of people around here, especially in the media and a lot of the fans, want them to go back to these full time. I think a great-looking unit. Gannon to throw. Shoves it to Wheatley. Incomplete. Seau with the interception. Junior Seau.
Sometimes Rich Gannon...
Hey, that'll wake you up when you get benched.
Yes, sir.
That wakes you up.
Fletcher is in. Can the Chargers take advantage of the break? Blitz against Harbaugh. Graham splits the defenders, and Woodson comes up a little shaky after that. He was hit by Dorsett, and Graham comes up limping.
Yeah, but this is the time of game. I don't care if you're limping or dragging a leg. You just don't leave the field.
You know, this guy yesterday told us, he said, you know, it's going to be a war. Gruden said it'll be a war.
And what a turnaround for the Chargers. The defense is held for 31 yards, and the offense has come alive. Harbaugh underneath to Fletcher. Forward progress was the 30. And Greg Biekert, that extra solid middle linebacker, makes the stop.
Well, now, we keep talking about Junior Seau all the time for the San Diego Chargers, number 55, but Greg Biekert, number 54 for Oakland. This guy in the middle is something else. Watch this hit. Fletcher gets the ball. Biekert makes the play. He's got both arms wrapped around him. Down you go.
Isn't that a great job by the ump cam? You can see all the action right there, just like an official's looking at it.
3rd and 3. This could be 4-down territory if you think about it. Harbaugh against the blitz to Fletcher. First down at the 23. Biekert made the tackle, but not in time.
You know what? Fletcher, not only does he have quick feet, but Terrell Fletcher has quick hands.
And a great awareness of where he is and where he ought to be.
He certainly does. Watch this throw and catch. Boom. Right here, he turns around, makes the full turn for the catch. First down. That's right. First down.
Fletcher styling for you. 17 catches coming into this game. He's going to star tonight. Harbaugh throws complete down to the 14. Graham with a catch close to another first down.
We talked about the ability of Rich Gannon to move around and make plays. And you get Junior up on the sideline watching, and John Gruden on the other side trying to figure out what's going on. But you have to, Jim Harbaugh does the same thing for this offense that Rich Gannon does for the Raiders. Look at the numbers. 14 for 18 in the second half, 130 yards and a touchdown.
He's hit 23 of his last 27, and if they let Junior play on offense, he couldn't be more excited than he is right now as a cheerleader. Blitz coming. Harbaugh didn't have a chance. Sacked back at the 24-yard line. Tony Bryant.
That time they were going to try and run that little shovel pass and bring Terrell Fletcher underneath, but the Raiders got such great penetration, Harbaugh did the only thing he could do. Mike Riley calling the plays.
Now 2nd and 17. They're down by 5. The clock becoming a real factor, 6:21. Junior Seau, every bit of emotional energy he can give. Biekert was trying to call timeout and got it just before the snap. He didn't like their alignment against what San Diego had out there on offense. So the Raiders used their first timeout of the second half. San Diego down by 5. Here for 3 days. It's rained every day. Second and 17. Harbaugh trying to buy time. Throws end zone, touchdown. Freddie Jones again. The flag is going to be for interference. Let's see which way it goes. Marquez Pope was there.
They're going to call it against the Raiders, but he just had his back to Jim Harbaugh completely.
Jim Harbaugh bought enough time.
The other one, I think you look for him in this case, too.
Harbaugh has that one batted down in his face. So it will be a 1-point game done from the 7. Runs through a seam, takes it up to the 37-yard line. When Junior Seau first came into the NFL, he was focused on all the trappings of stardom, the money, the celebrity, Pro Bowls. Now he says being in the limelight is a myth. It can all disappear so easily. And he has become a tireless worker for charity. He helped raise $40,000 so a 4-year-old boy could have a bone marrow transplant. He said, you either do this or someone dies. I shouldn't get credit for doing something right. Let us disagree. You should. First and 10 for Gannon. Pump fake. Then he throws behind Wheatley, and Seau is right there. If there has ever been a franchise player, it is Junior Seau. 9 straight Pro Bowls. That's a team record. Averages over 100 tackles a season. He doesn't blitz all that much. Still has 42.5 sacks and 12 picks. He has missed 5 games because of injury in his career. A remarkable record.
How many times have we watched this guy drag himself on the field?
Absolutely. Second and 10. Gannon buying time. John Ritchie makes the catch. He's up to the 42. They'll need 4 more for a first down.
If you're the Charger defense now, this is where you really have to be careful of what Rich Gannon can do. You've got 3rd down and 5. Not only do you have to cover the receivers, but you better be sure that your rush lanes are set so that the guys that are rushing him contain him. And somebody else doesn't make a mistake and jump up and have a big one happen.
And they wouldn't have to get that close for Janikowski. He has tremendous range if it comes to a field goal. Jordan is in the backfield on 3rd and 4. Good protection for Gannon. Down the middle, and he's got the first down at the 48-yard line. David Dunn.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, you keep thinking, you look at the quarterbacks, we saw Harbaugh do the thing, move his team down the field. And you watch this guy, Rich Gannon, do the same thing. He just sits and he waits and he waits and he waits. He's not worried about getting hit. But look at this throw to Dunn. Right across the middle, first down. Rodney Harrison was on him, but that's a first down.
The first Raider first down of the entire half. There's 4:24 to go in the game.
You talked about Andre Rison always making a big play. This is a case where you got to keep an eye on him.
Gannon with time. Throws on the run. Wheatley makes the catch and gets out of bounds.
You know, you were just talking about Andre Rison. He was open. He was open for the score, and Rich Gannon didn't have enough time to wait on him. Look at on the top of the screen. Look at this. Andre Rison is open for the touchdown. But Gannon's running for his life.
Got away from Deron Jenkins. When people talk about Rich Gannon, you never hear him say arm strength or any physical attributes. They say he's a leader. He's a winner. He has the intangibles. He has mobility. Winner is the key. But Jim Harbaugh has had a brilliant second half. He has better numbers right now. And that's the second Raider timeout. One play last year from going to the playoffs. Second and 5 for Richie Gannon. Movement. Lincoln Kennedy will plead his case.
Boy, Neil Smith saw it jump. He saw Lincoln Kennedy move.
False start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
I think Neil Smith was one of the reasons why they changed the rules regarding offensive linemen. Remember that movement he used to make all the time when he was in Kansas City? I have a feeling he got a little bit sneaky just one more time here.
There he is on the bottom of the screen. Look at this. He's shifted inside. But the thing about it is, once you put your hand down like Lincoln Kennedy did, you cannot bring it back up again.
Can't go from a 3 to a 2-point stance. Now back to second and 10. Too high for Dudley. Bob Brown was right there. Junior Seau also in the vicinity. Now it's third and 10. John Gruden hoping his team can pull it out. They would have one of the best records in the NFL if they do.
I think if you're Joe Pascal, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, you bring some linebackers. You put pressure on Rich Gannon. Don't give him a chance to sit around back there and make a play. Make him get rid of the football.
They have done very little of that tonight.
Rodney Harrison.
They come this time. Still don't get there, and Gannon with time throws complete. First down to Rising inside the 30. Beat Deron Jenkins. And when you come with a blitz and don't get there, guys get open.
That's right, and Tim Brown told us, he said he makes a play. Andre Rison makes big plays. Here is a big play. Boy, he just turned Deron Jenkins around.
Yeah, but he would not have had time to make that deep a throw if he doesn't get the protection. Look at the pocket. They give Rich Gannon an opportunity to step up right in the middle of it and make the throw.
Now they're in field goal range. If you're San Diego, do you start using timeouts to conserve the clock? Wheatley. Of course, you have to stop Wheatley first. He gets 7.
I don't think you need to. You've got the 2-minute warning that'll act as one for you. And I think you'll have enough time, and you're going to need your timeout.
Chargers in the fourth quarter have lost 3 times when they led. And the only team in the NFL to do that. This would make 4, as they have a 13-12 lead right now. And there's the big fella.
And he is big.
Isn't he? 255-pound place kicker. Second and 4. Wheatley. Not this time. It'll be third and about 3. Or check it was Napoleon Kaufman.
And I'll tell you, the Raiders are in absolutely no hurry to do anything.
And they will not have to run another play before the 2-minute warning. Play clock is at 27.
Third and 3. From the 23.
The last winless team in the NFL, up by 1, hoping for that first victory. And if a motion from that guy can do it, they'll win. Third and 3. The Raiders trying to keep the drive alive. They're down by 1. Gannon wants to throw for it, and he's got the first down to Rising. 5 catches for the 12-year veteran from Michigan State.
What a great throw, Joe.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Great throw.
And what a terrific route by Andre Rison. He's so quick and decisive with his moves. He makes it easy for a quarterback to throw it. Look at the move off the line. Plant, push back. He's looking back at Rich Gannon all the way. Deron Jenkins has no chance to see the ball come out.
San Diego has 2 timeouts left. They're going to have to use them to give themselves some time. Crockett is in as a short yardage running back. He'll get the carry, moves the pile. And the Chargers want the timeout with 1:12 to go. Clock still running, though. It cost them 2 seconds there. ESPN Sunday Night Football. The Raiders in each of their last 12 road games have had the game decided by 7 or fewer points, and that ties an NFL record to the Patriots, 93-94. They break that tonight. It's a 1-point margin right here.
And I think really the telling tale of that for John Gruden is what Tim Brown said last night. I asked him what the biggest difference in this football team was from last year. He says, we believe we can win this year, and that's what they've done.
Crockett inside the 10 and swarmed over. San Diego will use its last timeout. 1:02 to go. But right now, this would be a chip shot field goal to win it. Crockett gets to the 5. That will be short of a first down. Now the clock will run. 37 seconds on the play clock, so they could get it down to around 17, 18 seconds before they kick the field goal.
They will use their timeout
at the appropriate moment.
Oh, yeah. When there's like 3 seconds left on that clock.
Janikowski had missed 7 of 16 field goals coming into this game. He hit his first 4 tonight and then missed. The field goal would, of course, win it for them.
What they're saying to him, say, son, this is why you were drafted number 1. Now.
They've been saying that to him all year.
I know, but now. Right now, pal.
This is another now for you.
16 seconds left in the game. Janikowski will come on to try to give them the lead.
Sebastian Janikowski.
Overhead shot game. The numbers on Janikowski. The only miss was from 42 yards. This will be a relative chip shot from 24. Out of the hold is Shane Leckler. Junior can't even watch. And to the cheers of Raider fans, he puts it through. He has just tied Jeff Jager's all-time record, 5 field goals in a single game.
I mean, you really can't imagine, we can't imagine the kind of pressure on that young man. You know, he started out the season missing everything, and then you're in a game like this in your division, and to make this kick, even though it's short, there was an awful lot of pressure. Here's the snap. The ball is perfect, and it's right down the pipe.
The other thing, don't lose sight of the fact, Shane Leckler is his holder. He's a rookie, too. I mean, you know, I grant there's a lot of pressure on that, but the fact is the holder has a lot of pressure. But, boy, Rich Gannon, again, making some crucial throws. And it's sort of like the formula for the Raiders continues. Gannon rising, making a big play. Junior Seau just playing his heart out again.
Yeah, don't let anybody walk up to Junior Seau and say, you know, you really had a good game tonight. He doesn't want to hear it.
No, he doesn't.
He really doesn't want to hear it. I mean, he wants to win.
13 seconds to go. The Chargers do have a kickoff return for a touchdown this year. Ronnie Jenkins returned 193 yards. May not get an opportunity this time. Look for a swift kick, or do you kick it away with Janikowski's leg strength?
I think you kick it on a low-line drive and let them have to field it on the bounce and let your cover team make the tackle.
And they are the #1 cover team in the NFL. They will go deep. Jenkins from the 2. Ronnie Jenkins to the 49 with 5 seconds to go in the game. Holy cow.
Now Jim Harbaugh is going to get an opportunity to probably hang one up down the field.
John Carney's longest field goal this year and the longest field goal of his career is 54 yards.
don't understand why they kick this ball deep. Now, I don't care how good the kicker is.
Kick it
You
on
put
the
that
ground.
ball on the ground. You had 13 seconds.
If they gained 15 yards, it would be a 52-yard field goal.
No, they're not. They're going to try and fire it down the field. It's all or nothing here.
Harbaugh. This will be the last play of the game. Jump ball at the 1, tipped and intercepted at the 2.
Marquez Pope.
The San Diego Chargers have come so close so many times, but they are 0-8. And John Gruden has seen his team go with only one loss through the first half of the season.
Harbaugh does a nice job of buying the time. There goes everybody up to leap for it. Marquez Pope is the guy right in front that winds up with it. All the Chargers trying to leap it and make the play. And you know something? It wouldn't have mattered because they weren't in the end zone anyway.
A bitter pill for the San Diego Chargers to swallow and a great win for the Raiders.